top 5 teams whose fortunes changed in week number 3, according to my estimation.
The Chimes.
Number 5 is Chris Brockman's New England Patriots.
You just made the list.
I mean, this team looked great in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh coming off of that high of the week 1 win against Cincinnati, coming into their newly named Acrisure Stadium against a New England team that got smoked by the Dolphins the week before, and they looked great, and Mac was playing good football, and here come the Ravens, and they're going point for point with the Ravens until the roof caved in. Mac Jones started making mistakes, and then his ankle caved in. And I put them on this list here at number 5 because I don't know how long Mac Jones is going to go on the shelf. And you need to get your second-year quarterback more reps, more time, more mature. And the fact that they're not going to have that opportunity for, 4 to 6 weeks, one would think, at least half a year.
At least.
In a division where you've got the Dolphins and the Bills going at it, and the Jets are about to get their second-year quarterback back. Difference between being 2-1 and 1-2 is large, and then now you don't have your quarterback for at least a month and a half. And then who knows what team they're going to have when they come back, when Mac Jones comes back. They're number 5 on this list. I think their fortunes changed considerably with that week 3 loss.
I think you're right.
Number 4 on this list is a team that nobody thought had a chance to win the division. Nobody thought the division would be this bad because their division was led by the 1 seed from last year's playoffs. And this team has a young defense that is buzzing. And they have a team that is quarterbacked by one of the most generationally talented players drafted in recent memory. At least that's the way we thought of him when he came out of Clemson. Number 4 on this list is the Jacksonville Jaguars. They are currently in first place in the AFC South, and anybody who's overlooking them best check themselves. Will they have a winning season after being first overall on the clock 2 years in a row? Is that possible? Yeah, it's definitely possible because they won in Los Angeles against the Chargers, and laugh all you want. That could be the difference between making the playoffs or not as a 7 seed or a 6 seed. If you believe the Chargers are as good as advertised still, despite all their injuries, they banged up the Chargers even worse. They smoked them. And they have got good young players, and Christian Kirk is saying, take your criticism of my long-term lucrative contract and stick it where the sun does not shine.
He's earning it.
That's the way he's playing.
Yeah.
They're number 4 on this list. Number 3 on this list, I had a choice between 2 teams in this division that avoided the dreaded 0-3 start and are now 1-2. But I'm choosing the team that won at home in a division game. I'm choosing the Carolina Panthers. They could have been 0-3, losing to the Saints at home. Oh, my gosh. That would have been the doldrums, to say the least. And they've got an owner, supposedly, with an itchy trigger finger, even though there were reports over the weekend, Ian Rappaport, saying David Tepper's going to be patient. That is not a word I've ever heard associated with that man since he's owned the team, to be very honest with you. And Carolina needed that win. Baker Mayfield's first win with the team. They needed that. You cannot lose division games at home to fall to 0-3. Instead, they're 1-2. And they're only 1 game behind the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who they have yet to play. And the Saints are now in 3rd place. And so they're part of a 3-team mosh pit at 1-2. I was going to choose the Falcons, but and it was a big win for them in Seattle. I just don't know if their fortunes changed. I think Carolina could potentially make some hay here in this division. We'll see how it goes.
They're a few plays away from being 3-0.
That's all I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, they're a good team.
Number 2 on this list, nobody saw it coming. Chris, you mentioned this team to be the surefire loser, being on the wrong business end of a suicide pool pick. Everybody chose the Chiefs. You chose the Chiefs. All of us on NFL Game Day morning, we just were in the meeting. We're like, there's no obvious choice for lock of the week except Kansas City and Indianapolis. We all doomed them, all 6 of us on the set.
Yep.
All of us. And the Indianapolis Colts were staring into the abyss, starting 0-1-1, having lost on the road in Jacksonville, shut out after tying the Texans to open the season. They looked dead in the water with no Shaq Leonard. The Indianapolis Colts changed their fortunes. They beat the Chiefs. They're now 1-1-1. They're just a half game behind the aforementioned Jaguars. They could easily win this division. I picked them to win this division. They could have been I looked it up. I was wondering, has a team ever been when was the last 0-2-1 team? At one point, I asked in the screening room when the Texans were tied with the Bears late, I'm like, has a team ever started 0-1-2?
No way, right?
We stopped looking it up because Justin Fields and the Bears actually scored. But I will ask that question later on. All I'm saying is the Colts changed their fortunes, man. They won and they beat the Chiefs. And I know they got some help from some bizarre unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, but the only reason why that it was helpful is because the Chiefs made a lot of mistakes and the Colts were capitalizing throughout the day. They changed their fortunes. And the number one on the list, the number one team that changed their fortunes in week number 3 are the Miami Dolphins. Oh, yeah, man. If they had fallen to 2-1 with a short week, taking on the Cincinnati Bengals right behind it, if they'd fallen to 2-1, it would have been like, hey, Mike McDaniel and the Dolphins, hey, great win over the Belichick Patriots that are now dead in the water with Mac Jones being out. Great win. Good stuff. And, hey, kudos to you with what you did in Baltimore in that fourth quarter. But you're still not better than the Bills. And you still can't beat the Bills. You still can't get past this team. You just lost to them at home in week 3. Good luck trying to go up in week 15 in, 0-degree wind chill and try and win that one. Good luck to you. But I'll tell you what, the Miami Dolphins won that football game. They got it done, and they are now 3-0. They're the ones that the rest of the conference is looking up to. They're the ones that the Buffalo Bills are looking up to. They're the ones that created a huge mess in the Buffalo Bills offensive coaching box. Clean up on aisle Dorsey, right? So the Dolphins absolutely changed their fortunes with that win. Could they have gone from 2-1 to where I think they can go? Of course they could. But they've got this win and all that momentum. And that's my top 5 teams list of whose fortunes changed in week 3.